Welcome back everyone, it's Poisonous. We're going to be looking at a new deck today. As always, please like and subscribe to the channel, keeps the good videos coming. The deck we're going to look at today is a green-purple deck. This deck has a good matchup into red-blue and red-purple, so if you're seeing a lot of decks like that at your local, then this is something you could definitely try out. It's a green-purple deck with a little bit of a spicy twist, using Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo to get extra value out of your combo cards like Goat, Rabbit, Go Go, Kit Cloudkicker, things like that. So let's take a look at the deck list. We're running 11 1-drops, so I'm running 3 Chernabog, 4 Diablo, and 4 Merfolk. I think you could adjust any of those up or down by 1 to make it work out to your preference. I like having 4 Diablo because they always get a card draw on Banish, which is, especially valuable in the red-blue matchup where a lot of your cards get removed. We have our usual bounce package with Snake and Fox. To give it a bit of an aggro edge, the Curse Merfolk and Bonsai are there as 2 questers, as well as Prince Philip in the 3-drop slot. He's got Ward, so he's hard to remove, and he quests for 2. We have some other 2-drops. We have Go Go Tomago. She's a great card, gives your deck some reach to close out games. We have Sir Hiss. In order to combat Genie and some of the other cards in the meta, Sir Hiss is here as a way to take those cards down and trade into things like Calhoun if needed. We are running 3 copies of Ursula. Against certain matchups, the ability to remove the songs from their hands is quite strong. We're running 3 Crab. I think that the Crab is very necessary in the meta that we have right now, especially with people playing Genie and other big characters. You need the ability to buff up your characters to get good trades. We're running 3 copies of White Rose and 4 copies of Goat for our instant lore gain. We're running 3 copies of Kit Cloudkicker. This card is a great tempo card, lets you bounce a character with 2 strength or less. Very effective against opposing Genies in a matchup against purple. And for our draw package, we're running 3 Genie and 3 Rabbit. I think you could adjust up and down to your preference, but I think the Rabbit is really important in the red-blue matchup, and that the extra card draw that you get from bouncing it is worth keeping it, although the Genie is definitely, a bigger threat, especially on the play. But I think it's a good idea to have both. We're running 2 copies of Belle. She's quite strong, moving damage around. It's also a good setup for Go Go Tomago. We're running 3 copies of Elsa. This card is necessary to deal with aggro decks and to deal with the Genie battles. And we're running 2 copies of Friends and 2 copies of our sleeper card, Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo. So that's the deck list. I've posted the link to the Dreamborn deck in the description of the video. Now let's take a look at some of the interactions that this deck uses to get value. The first interaction that I want to talk about is with Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo, which is of course the namesake of this deck. It allows you to return chosen character of yours to your hand to play a character with the same cost or less for free. So this basically serves as a way to bounce your characters and play them again. So if you pick up a Goat using Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo, you gain a lore when you pick it up, and then you could replay the Goat and gain another lore when you play it. Same thing for Rabbit. You could play a Rabbit, draw a card, have one of your characters sing Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo, pick the Rabbit up, draw another card, replay the Rabbit, draw a 3rd card. So it lets you basically get, double or triple value out of your bounce cards, but it also can pair nicely with Go Go Tomago. You could play her once for 4 to gain the lore off of a damaged character, and then you could have a character sing Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo, pick her up and play her again. Her 2 cost would be free, and you just have to pay the 2 extra ink to do the lore gain off the damaged character again. So there's a bunch of different ways that you could combo this in the deck. Because it's a song, it is versatile. You can have your characters like White Rose or Kit Cloudkicker sing this on a more valuable character, but you could also use it on things like Elsa or Belle if you really need to exert things or attack damaged or move damage to other characters. So I think it's a pretty versatile song. We're only running 2 because it is uninkable, and we don't want to overfill the deck with uninkables or cut anything else from the list. So in this clip you see that we play a Rabbit, we sing Bibbidi, and we bounce the Rabbit, so we ended up drawing a total of 3 cards when we replay the Rabbit. And in this clip, we were in a situation where the Ursula is quite a scary card because it can double sing. We've already played our Kit on the previous turn, and we don't have enough ink to bounce Kit using like a snake, but we do have enough ink to play Bibbidi on the Kit and play it again to bounce the Ursula back to hand, which gains quite a bit of tempo for us. The next important interaction with this deck is using Go Go Tomigo. Go Go is a 2-cost 2/2 with evasive, but her ability Stop Whining, Woman Up says when you play this character, you may pay 2 ink to gain lore equal to the damage on chosen opposing character. This means that a well-timed Go Go can gain you a lot of lore. A large character like Tamatoa, who's got a lot of damage on him, could net you like 5, 6, 7 lore possibly, but even gaining 3 lore on a 4 health character is really strong and can put you suddenly into game-winning range when you weren't before, or it can help you sneak out a game. Obviously, Go Go can be bounced or replayed using Bibbidi or Fox and Snake to get even more value. It's a card that opponents have to respect when they're playing against green because they know they leave their high damage characters on the board. There's a chance that you're going to sneak up and steal a bunch of lore. Next up is Merlin Crab. This card is a staple in purple decks right now because of the purple mirror matches, and it's really helpful in taking down big characters in a deck that has a lot of characters which typically have low strength. Obviously, you can power up any character. A couple important interactions I want to point out. One is with Diablo. Normally, he's not much of a threat. He just quests and then draws you a card when he gets banished. But with Crab, you can power him up and you can take out a larger character and get a card draw in the process, so it turns your Diablo into kind of a thinly veiled threat. It also works well with Elsa, allowing you to exert a character, possibly trading the Crab into something, powering up Elsa and getting her to take out something big. It's also necessary if you want Elsa to be able to take out something like a Maui Half Shark, which has 5 willpower. But don't underestimate the Crab. It's a good card to get set up on the board. It doesn't do much sometimes when you play it, but having it on the board means that it enables a bunch of combos for you to use later. And the final interaction to highlight is with our bounce package, so our Mim Fox and Mim Snake. They both let you return a character to hand when you play them. This obviously pairs up well with all the different value cards in the deck. So our lore gainers like Merlin Goat and White Rose can be used to close out games. You can replay Go Go Tomigo to gain a lot of lore and close out games. Lets you replay your Genie and Rabbit to do more card draw, and it also lets you bounce Kit to replay Kit and remove characters off the board back to the opponent's hand. I really like the Kit to bounce Genie, although it does give them a card draw when they replay it, but it's quite a bit of tempo loss for them to keep bouncing their Genie over and over again. What cards are best to bounce with your Snake and Fox really depends on the situation you're in. If you need to get lore to close out a game, if you need cards to refill your hand, if you need some tempo gain, but because it's very versatile and you can choose what to bounce in different situations, it makes these cards very powerful, and it's a reason why they've been a staple ever since they were introduced in set 2. Now that we've taken a look at the interactions of the deck, let's take a look at our opening hand alter strategy. On the play, our ideal turn 1 opening is Curse Merfolk because it's very aggressive and it's going to force the opponent into discarding a card. Chernabog's Followers is also a good opening. It allows us to choose whether or not we want to banish to draw, so you can usually have it stick around for an extra turn if the opponent doesn't play anything threatening, and it can get us a card draw if we're in need of that right away. On turn 2, we have a few different options. If we're going for an aggressive opening like against Red-Blue, the ideal second play would be Bonsai because he quests for 2 and he can't be brawled without the help of other tools like Ice Block. Sir Hiss is okay because he's evasive, he's not going to be easily traded into, and he's got 3 strength as well. We also have the option for Ursula, Deceiver. She can remove a song from the opponent's hand. This is usually only a good play if you know the matchup you're playing against is likely to have songs, but it does at least provide you with information about what the opponent has. On turn 3, we have a few different options. Merlin Crab can be a good play to set up for later combos. The White Rose is also good because it gains lore on play, gives you a 3/3 body that can sing or trade into things. Or Prince Philip if you're still on the aggro play line because he quests for 2, he's got ward, can't be targeted, so he's quite sticky. Usually the opponent will have to trade a character into him to get rid of him. And then on turn 4, we want to start replenishing our cards, so we play Merlin Rabbit or Genie Genie. On the play, I think Genie is stronger because the opponent has to respond to it, but against certain matchups like red-blue, I think that the rabbit is more likely to get you value, so the Genie almost always gets removed as soon as it's played against a red deck. On the draw, I think that it's important to have a wider board. So turn 1, you want to start off with a Chernabog or Diablo. If you're playing against a deck like Diggy Diggy Hole, I think the Diablo is better because if they play a turn 1 Cindy, you have the option to at least get a card draw out of Diablo when it gets banished, whereas Chernabog, if they can sing Storm or Strength, then you're not getting anything for that. Turn 2, I really like the 2/1 drop play, so you have a wide board of 3 characters. That way you can use your Crab, Fox, Bounce stuff and still have characters on the board, so you don't lose too much tempo. But a turn 2 card like Ursula, Bonsai are also fine. Turn 3, you need to start trying to fight back for board control, so this is where Fox is really valuable, especially if you played multiple 1-drops. The Crab can also be useful in powering up Diablo to do a trade, and Kit Cloudkicker is a great way to bounce something annoying from the opponent, slow them down, and start to build board. And these 3-drops, of course, can always sing Friends on the next turn to get you more cards if you do have Friends, or they can sing Bibbidi Bobbidi and allow you to combo something if you need that. I don't have a suggestion for your turn 4 play. It's much harder to choose your opening lines at that point on the draw. You need to be responding to what your opponent is doing, so it's really going to be dependent on the board state and the matchup that you have, how you play it out from there. So let's jump into a little bit of gameplay. Here's a match that I played on Pixelborn. In this game, we're on the draw. Our opponent is clearly playing Steel Song. They start with turn 1 Queen. We play turn 1 Chernabog. I'd rather play Diablo in case they get to sing a song here, but Chernabog is the best that we have. They Inca Bear Necessities. Shifting Queen, definitely setting up to sing a song. They play Storm, taking away our board and drawing a card. We are fortunate here to have Ursula, so we can take a look at their hand and try and pick off any songs. And we do see that they have a whole new world, so we force them to discard that. And now we have an idea of what they have in their hand. So they draw into a Zeus. They sing it on Ursula. Bit overkill probably, but they want to take away any chance we have to bounce characters. They play a Calhoun. So we play out a White Rose for our turn 3. I want to have a 3 strength character on the board to threaten to take out the queen if they quest with it. They play a Daisy, and Queen sings A Whole New World. You know, we picked one off with Ursula, and they're very lucky to draw into another one, so they force us to dump our hand here. So they're quite a bit ahead on board, and now they have a full hand again. So it's going to be a tough battle back here for us. But they do have the Exerted Queen, which is something that we're going to be able to take out this turn. So we start off by trading our White Rose to the Queen. Now they don't have a singer for 5-cost songs. So we ink a Chernabog and play a Chernabog. Play 2 for Snake, pick up Chernabog. And I was going to replay Chernabog, but I decided to play the Diablo in case they sing and kill it. They ink Pluto. Play an Ariel and look for a song. They find Storm. They're not going to be able to play it this turn because they don't have a character that can sing it. They quest a Daisy, and they actually bounce our tech card to the bottom of our deck, although it's not really in a position right now where we could use it. So we quest with both our characters. We do have a Fox here. We pick up Diablo, take out the Daisy to slow them down on questing. Fox takes a damage. And we can replay Diablo here. So we ink a Chernabog, play Curse Merfolk, and play the Diablo back out. So we're just trying to build as wide a board as possible. Because they have the ability to pick off our characters, our strategy is always going to be to have as many characters as we can on board to try and fight back when we get a chance when they do exert their characters. They trade their Calhoun into the Fox, they gain 2 lore. Ariel sings Storm, she takes out the Cursed Merfolk. Draw a card, they ink Pete. And they play a Naveen who comes in singing Zeus, taking out our snake. So even though we managed to get 4 characters on board, they've whittled us all the way back down to 1 weak character again. So this is why I really emphasize trying to build the wide board against decks like this. Play a rabbit, drawing a card, we ink another Diablo, and we play Go Go. She's not getting any effect for the on play, but she is an evasive, she's a body that we can get on the board to try and fight our way back into this game. We're not way behind on lore, so, you know, the game's not lost, but we need to build out as much as we can here. They do have a good draw of Pluto. They widen their board and they kill our rabbit, again shrinking our board back down, and now they can questo with their Prince Naveen. So for 3 we play Crab, we power up Diablo, and we knock down Pluto, taking away his 5 strength, drawing us a card, and then Go Go can finish off Pluto while still surviving the challenge. We ink a goat so we can play Rabbit and draw another card, trying to keep our resources up. It's going to be a war of attrition. If they hit into another whole new world here, it's going to be pretty bad for us. But our hope is that they don't, and that we can slowly grind them down and they'll run out of resources while we keep drawing cards. So they kill our Crab, trying to cut off any combos we can pull off with Crab to boost our characters. And then they quest out. So they are getting a bit ahead on board now and on lore. They're up to 11, so we have to be mindful of not letting them quest into the danger zone of winning the game. We play a Genie, draw. We trade our Rabbit into Smee. I choose the Rabbit because I don't want to leave the body on the board for Calhoun to kill and have her survive. So with the Go Go, at least she's evasive, so she's not going to be challenged by Calhoun. Quest here. And play a couple big characters that can trade into their board. So they actually choose not to quest here. I think that they're hoping they'll draw into a song. They don't want us to trade down their entire board. So we play a goat and a Diablo. Just trying to widen our board as much as possible so when they do quest we can trade. But at least for now, we can quest with our evasives. They're not going to be able to be challenged, and now we're catching up on lore. So I decided to just go ahead and quest the Bonsai. If they want to trade the Calhoun to it, then, you know, that's fine. So there's Cindy Sing Storm. They take out one of our evasives. They play Jim Hawkins. They do trade the Calhoun into the Bonsai, gaining them 2 lore. They quest with Naveen, pushing up to 15, but they choose not to quest with the Ariel. That way, if they draw a whole new world or another big song, they still have a singer that's protected who can sing it. So we use our goat to take out Cindy. We know that Sir Hiss is gonna banish something, but he's also gonna get banished no matter what he challenges, so we'll send him into the biggest character, Naveen, and then we'll quest up to 15 here. So this is a great time to take advantage of goat bounce. So we play a snake, pick up our goat, go to 16, replay the goat, go up to 17. And now they have to either clear our board or we're going to win next turn. All they have is Cinderella, so we do take the game. So you can see our strategy here is to try and keep characters on board and fight back with characters like Fox and Crab. It's a grindy match, but we were able to use our card draw from our rabbits and our genie to make sure that we had lots of cards while they slowly ran out of cards after they didn't hit into another whole new world. So that's the deck. This match, of course, didn't show off the Bibbidi Bobbidi combo, but I think that overall green-purple is in a place where it can take down decks. Anything that's running purple seems to be pretty competitive right now. So if you're playing in a set champs this weekend or any of the weekends coming up and you want to try out this deck, good luck. Let me know how all your matchups go. Let me know if you win any tournaments. Good luck in the playmat. Thanks for watching the video. Let me know what you think in the comments, and please like and subscribe to support the channel. We'll see you next time.